Hello and welcome to Furious Driving, and this is my beautiful field find Alfa 159 2.4 JTDM 5-cylinder turbo diesel Losso. This is a beautiful, lovely car which was abandoned in a field for nearly 5 years, it turns out, because the previous owner had a little bit of a problem with the timing belt going good drink and making the engine not be quite right anymore. So since then, we've now had to battle the old engine, give up on the old engine, fitted a new engine, and well, I was going to get it ready for the MOT where it was. Unfortunately, the field owner has said all the cars that were there cannot be there anymore. So now it's here. So today, we're going to try and make everything ready for the MOT because, well, it can't go anywhere or do anything at the moment. We need to get an MOT on this thing, and that means a few little jobs. Let me delve into the interior, and incidentally, if you've seen this interior, you know that we should be calling this car not a 159, but an Alfa Spider. In fact, if we're going to give a name to this car, we should probably call it something like a Nancy, because yeah, there are a lot of little 8-legged friends that are becoming very disgruntled by my moving it around. Now, there's only a couple of things left to make this thing ready to drive on the road. There's a couple of low value, high effort things and some high value, low effort things, and a couple of things in between. So to get this done, we've gone full roadkill with the cardboard sign to say what we've got to do. So we have got the MAF, the mass airflow sensor is kaput, and that has put a light bulb on the dashboard, both of which are bad things. So we need to change that MAF sensor, which I've already bought, and then turn the light out. Then we can get through the MOT on that front. The front tyres. This is a high value, low effort thing, which I've actually already taken care of because one of them exploded when the car tried to move, which isn't good. I did check out the date on these things. There were Pirelli Cinturatos all round, which are good tyres, but the ones in the front were only a year older, but they had dry rotted and they'd cracked on the sides, and as the car just rolled in the field, they popped. Incredible. So we've now got a brand new set of Falcon Azenis tyres on it, which seem to be really nice. I'm a bit of a tyre junkie. I love a new tyre, the smell of it, the crispness of the tread, all of it just looks fantastic. And Hippo's last big effort for me was to take the wheels from the front of this car down to the tyre place to get a new pair of these Falcons put on there and then bring them back again so I could fit the car tyres on there and the car could actually be mobile again and roll out of that field. So that is done. Now the big ticket item in terms of effort, the road spring on the rear passenger side. Didn't look broken until we looked underneath the car with it on the ramp and realised one of the bottom little circlets had snapped off. So that is a big one to do, and that's one we'll have to tackle. That's one I really wanted to tackle on the ramp, but we're going to do it on jacks, that's fine. And finally, we've got a couple of little tiny things. The key fob wasn't working before. That just needed a new CR2032, and now it works again. Side light has gone in there. That's not a big one, and the bonnet pull has fallen off. In fact, it snapped, so we'll figure something else with that. Right, let us crack on with some work. I have just got a Carly, which I've plugged in down there, and it's currently reading it, and I'm about to hit clear codes. Oh, it's done it! Yes, it's done it! Fantastic! Engine light is out. Well, Carly could not have picked a better time to offer to sponsor a video. But what did it fix? Well, you'll have to watch the rest of the video and wait and see to find out. But it's not just Alfas that Carly can fix. The plug-in device is compatible with most major brands and most cars made from 2001. All you need is an OBD2 port and a phone. Just plug the device into your OBD port, open the app on your phone, and in just a moment or two, you're going to see everything that your car's not happy about. If you're working on the car and trying to diagnose or fix something, once you've got access to the car, you can clear all those pesky old faults and focus on just the faults you're working on. And hopefully, once you've fixed the thing you are trying to fix, you can clear that light as well. So you can get rid of the annoying dash lights and take it through an MOT and pass the MOT. Because here in the UK, if you've got a dash light on that won't go out after you've turned the car on, that's an instant MOT fail. So Carly can save your bacon in many ways. Of course, with most of my cars, generally I will find that there are other problems that it's just highlighted as well, so that's not always good news, but at least you know what the news is. Carly makes diagnosing your own car's faults easy and puts manufacturer level diagnostics in your own hands. And that puts you in control of your own car maintenance, saving you time and money. And there's not just a few generic codes you find in cheap code readers. There are over 100,000 model specific codes in the Carly app. And working on old Alfas and Land Rovers, I'll probably be using most of them. And because it's an app, it's constantly updated, so you're always working with current data. But Carly offers more than just diagnostics. There's repair guides for over 10,000 common faults. And also, depending on your make and model, you can access things like your battery health check and live data when the car's running. And with certain brands, you can code hidden functions on and off. So if you've got a BMW or Mini, a VW group car, a Toyota, you can access those hidden features that aren't specific to your market or the manufacturer wouldn't have on your particular trim level. Download the app from the App Store or the Google Play Store, or check out the Carly website and you can see precisely what you can do on your specific model of car. Now the app and the website are incredibly easy to use, and they will identify faults using AI-powered analysis with over 60 million diagnostic data points for reference. It can offer you a diagnosis with top 3 likely faults and even an estimate of repair costs. So head to the App Store or the Google Play Store or to the website and sign up using code FURIOUS for 15% off. Start diagnosing, start fixing, start saving money. And now back to the Alfa, which is still probably broken in new ways. So, stage 1 of this repair is not actually getting the tools out or not fixing anything at all. It's in fact getting into the car's openings. The boot release doesn't want to work, so we've got an emergency access that lives here underneath the seat. So I've added a cable tie to that so I can get in and out more easily without having to lift the seat up every time. Secondly, same deal applies to the bonnet release, which at the moment I've not got spare parts for. That's snapped, and I'm not going to spend time looking for it on a Sunday. But I do want to be able to get into this and make it easier, so again, cable tie, zip tie repair to the rescue so I can get in and out the bonnet. Now, the first job, which is also the most serious mechanical job, is this, the road spring, which, hidden by that wheel, is actually snapped at the top. We didn't know this until we had it on a ramp for the engine swap over in Jamie's workshop. I was hunting around to buy one of these, and Jamie actually found one in his kind of store unit, just completely by chance. I don't know, long story short, it was a spare one, didn't need it, so thank you Jamie for the free spring, which is really handy. Now this is this is actually the most difficult job we've got to do. I've had a quick read up on watch up on how you do this, and there's lots of chance of peril and failure. So if all goes well, it's probably a couple of hours of work. If it goes as I expected to do, I'll still be here when it gets dark. There's even the possibility I might actually admit defeat on this one out here on the drive. So my strategy might have to become that I'll take it for the MOT knowing it'll fail on it, but then you've got the week plus a couple of days to take it back for a retest, and I'll have to drive it back to Jamie's to him do it on the lift, the 4-post ramp, which makes life so much easier, and then bring it back for a retest in a few days' time. That is a strong possibility, because if you're not familiar with the UK law, if you're watching from abroad, with the car's MOT, which is our annual safety inspection thing, you're not allowed to drive a car without a current MOT test ticket in place, but you can drive to a booked MOT without a ticket, because obviously you've got to get one. And if you've not got an MOT but you've booked work to get it through the MOT, it's like essential, like welding for example, you can also drive to that place of repair in order to get it done, and then back from the place of repair to the MOT station. That's the one allowance. Obviously you don't have to have tax in place when that's happening, because you can't get tax on your car until you've got both insurance and an MOT, and tax comes third. Insurance though, even if you've not got an MOT, is a must. So I did add this onto my Lancaster policy a few days ago. Finally, I've not had it insured this whole time I've had it, it's just been sat in a field, but then it's not really a problem sat in a field, is it? Right, let's crack on and see how bad this actually is. First thing I have noticed, I was just loosening off these wheel nuts and noticed one was missing. Fortunately, there are a couple of spares in the boot. Wow, that is a lot of cobwebs, but here we have our broken spring, really easily visible with that taken off. So, having seen what we've got to do, we need to undo these 4 bolts that hold this up to the top of the top mount. We need to undo this bottom bolt just there, loosen off or remove the bolt for this drop link just there, and then inside the car there's about 400 small nuts and bolts and fixings that hold the side lining to the inside of the boot. Then we can take it off that top. So really it's 5, 6, 7 bolts and we're there. Possibly this one as well if things get a bit tricky with the leverage, but we'll see how we go. I mean, how hard can that be? I mean, How hard can that be? It's just 7 bolts. Don't know why I said that. Before I do anything else, or even think about doing anything else, douse everything in penetrating. Oh, spider's running away. Oh, hello, bye-bye spider. Spiders, it turns out, do not like Bulldog BDX. Just literally just soak everything in this stuff. This apparently is a 21mm bolt. I'm really hoping I've got a 21mm. I've definitely got a 22. I'm just having a bit of a think, have I got a 21? Right, so first bolt and first problem. This is not a normal socket, it's an E14, one of those stupid reverse star socket things. And obviously I've not got one. I've only got an E10 and an E12 because I had to do them on the Freelander. They used them on the prop shaft, obviously different ones at each end. And so luckily I was able to run down to Halfords and grabbed that, and I had one in stock. I've also got an E16 on the off chance that I need that for everything else on this job because they're going to be shut soon. So hopefully this will be enough to get me out of the mire. Can I get a drive thingy in there and undo it, or do I need to go and do this by hand? Oh, holy moly, that came out easily. Again, holy moly, 2 for 2. Holy badgers, 3 for 3. The spiders are running for their lives. Okay, now I need an actual manual socket. Got it. So that's actually 4 bolts out with only minor trauma, which is frankly incredible. So now we're trying to work on getting this 21mm monster out the bottom and hope I've got a socket that'll fit. Right, okay, so I've found a 21mm socket. It's not an impact, but at this point on a Sunday afternoon, it's all I can do. So I'll accept my 10 internet points deduction for using the wrong thing. And I couldn't find a 21mm spanner either. I've got one in the barn, just not here. But I did find an Imperial old-fashioned money 13/16, which is close enough to do the job. So hopefully this will also come undone. Oh, appears to be doing it. This must be what it's like working on cars in other countries where it's not rusty and salty. Maybe the fact this has sat in a field, I looked at the MOT, I think it was 2020 it was last MOT'd, so it's been in the field for the best part of 4 or 5 years. Maybe that has saved me so much trouble by being in a field. Who knew barn finds were so simple to work on? So drop link. Oh, botheration. It's just spinning. What's the trick for doing these? There's an Allen key end in that one. Well, normal service has been resumed. I hit a bolt which will not come undone. The drop link will not come undone because it's got a ball joint at the bottom. I've tried putting a breaker bar in there, putting pressure on it, wouldn't work. I've tried putting the Allen key in the end, it wouldn't work. It's an 18mm. Haven't got an 18mm spanner here, so obviously I can't use a socket because I need the Allen key. So I'm going to go with the good old favourite induction heater. You can really smell the Bulldog BDX burning off. Oh, that is now red hot. Oh, I've lost the Allen key now. There we go. Right. Spanner fit. Come on. Come on. It's just rotating and bouncing back. Stupid thing. Oh, it turned then. Oh, yes, it's turning. Oh my God, that is not happy. There we go, it's turning. There we go, nearly there. There we go. It's off. My goodness, that was hard work. Drop link won't come out straight away. Too much tension on it, so a little bit of pressure from underneath with a jack, and out it pops. So now that's all free. Okay, to reach the top bolt of the shock, just take off this little bit of trim behind the back seat and pull out the big bit of foam, and then you can see it just there. There you go. You can undo that, leave that to one side, and there's the strut top visible. So now, just gonna try and lever this all down and get it out. I might have to undo this though. I think probably we will do. Drop links off. It's undone at the top, it's undone at the bottom. So it's just really the natural springiness of this bar here. So I think we're gonna have to, yeah, that's gonna have to come out. That's 17. Let's hope so. No, it's not. 19. Okay, so 19. That comes out easy. Wow. Oh, sorry, I'll turn the camera off for a second, and yeah, missed that coming out. So yeah, now we've got a whole bunch more leverage. There we go. Phew. Easy. I put the spring compressors on because it was getting really hard to get enough space with the force of the spring on it, so I figured that would give me a centimetre or so more. It's out, got the spring compressors on it, so I just need a 19 or no, 17. To be honest, my spring compressors aren't quite long enough for these springs, so I'm going to cramp them down as much as I can across as many rinds as I can. Right, this does fit, so quite neatly in there. There we go. This then all fits in there, and we'll just tighten up. I actually had to use the old 6mm socket on the top and mole grips to undo it because it was not willing to come undone before. Yeah, I think I would tighten up the same way. Can I get this back into the thing? Reverse fitting is the reverse of a disassembly, or whatever they say in Haynes manuals. Wow, it's in! Holy monkeys! That was 1,000 times easier than I thought it was going to be. I guess because I've got the spring so heavily compressed. This isn't the easiest thing to organise in terms of lining up. Yep, it's going through. Well, it's all going back okay. So far-ish. Oh, come on. Got too much, come on, start that off. Done. All in there, everything buttoned up, everything in place. Only took about 3.5 hours, including going to Halfords, which is not bad considering I've never done this job before on this particular kind of car. And it's on the driveway, on a jack, not on a lift. And one of the bolts had to be undone with the heat tool. So pretty good going all told. I'm pleased with that. Right, let's get the wheel on and look at the airflow sensor. Right, so we have now done big expense, low effort with the tyres. We've done big effort, zero expense with the shock or the spring. Now it's time to do the Goldilocks moment of hopefully limited effort and negligible expense with this, the mass airflow sensor, which sits here in a pipe at the front, so hopefully nice and easy to fix. There's about 50 quid from off of eBay, and that will then let me turn off the warning lights on the dashboard and it will run properly. Right, it's in, it's done, pretty much. It's just a matter of popping the old one out, sliding the new one in, connect the wire up again, push the little tab down, and then reconnect these really annoying factory grippy clip things, like a Jubilee clip that you can't undo without a special pair of pliers. And even with the pair of pliers, I've only managed to do one of them. I've been on it for half an hour, and it's actually easier to change a shock absorber and spring than it is to do up one of these stupid clips. So I'm kind of losing the will to live here a bit. I'm going to try one more time and then give up, and then just go and fit. Well, I haven't got a Jubilee clip big enough for it. So, no. I did it! I can't believe it. I actually managed to do it. Oh, these things are evil. but I'm glad it's finally done. Right, so to reach the OBD and reset all the computery stuff, it's really convenient. You just have to know that you can unscrew that and wrench this and pull it down. Then you find the fuse box and the OBD, which is lurking in there. Old dead one, nice new one. That is so hard to find and get out. There is actually quite a handy little handle to pull it out with, but still really tricky. Now fortunately that missing wheel bolt is easy to fix because there is a spare set of 4 bolts, or a couple of bolts, in the boot, in the locking wheel nut box. So finally, I'm getting a drive out in the 159, and well, a couple of things are apparent. First of all, it's very smooth, it's lovely, it's really creamy. That 5-cylinder is amazing, I love that a lot. But it is not making as much power as it should be. I'm really hoping it's just going to be that I've changed the MAF sensor and the car hasn't recognised it yet because my computer couldn't talk to it, so it still thinks it's in limp mode or something. It'll rev to about 3,000 RPM and then you're done. Also, the exhaust smells kind of strong and smoky, so I'm hoping that's just because it's not run for a while. Obviously the stuff like the brake discs are all kind of furred up because it's been sat in the field for a long time. But we'll see how we go, because in theory with this thing it might just pass. We'll find out shortly, one way or another. Well, not hugely surprisingly, it was a fail, but not on what I was expecting. Firstly, the aim of the passenger side headlight is completely skew-if, but we've not driven this car at night yet, so I didn't know that. Secondly, there was a bolt missing from the driver's side rear wheel. Weirdly, there was one missing from the passenger side rear wheel as well, so I replaced that, but I never thought to look at the driver's side, so it was an odd thing that one was missing. Those are not insurmountable, those aren't bad problems. The one that's going to be an issue is the fact that it makes apparently huge clouds of black smoke. Let me rev it now and find out. It won't rev, okay. Yeah, the garage did put it on the machine and they managed to clear the codes, but it came back straight away, which means it's not just the MAF that's at fault. He did a code diagnosis ready thing and it said the EGR is locked shut, which means it is clogged to death. So that's probably why I can't rev past 3,000. I don't think the car's in limp mode. I think it is in can't rev, it can't breathe mode. So yeah, basically I need to take the EGR off, give it a jolly good clean out, and hopefully that'll do enough to free it off. Oh, bit of a judder on the brakes now, they're starting to clear off. Despite that though, despite the fact I can't rev over 3,000 RPM and it runs that puff for 2.5, so I'm stuck at about 45 miles an hour, it is really, really smooth. The engine is really nice and this interior is a delight. My wife came to see what I was up to yesterday when I was doing all the work on it, and she had a sit in it and she's like, wow, this thing is lovely. I think she's maybe a little bit keen to keep this one, perhaps. Who knows? We did just have a black 159 Ti Estate with the same engine as this, which I loved. Who knows? Maybe she could be persuaded to have this as her car instead of her Mini. Although I'm not sure it actually work out particularly well for her because she often uses the boot with the dog cage. So that probably won't work out. So yes, it was a fail, but hopefully not the end of the world, because the EGR is actually quite easy to get to on these engines. It's this lumpy thing here, so it's a little bean can at the back of the motor, and apparently it's held on with just a couple of 10mm and a couple of 12mm bolts, so we should be able to get out in a matter of hours. So first off, I've released all these hoses. I've taken off this bracket that sits on the back of it and blocks you. Undoing this coolant header tank and pushing that down gives you a little bit more access. Then you can actually see some of the bolts you're going for. A large part of it does in fact appear to be just heat shielding. So EGR valves are a really, really common problem with diesels of this kind of age, when the first sort of generation of emissions control came in, and EGR deletes are a really, really common fix for these kind of cars. In fact, I'm pretty sure I did an EGR delete on my old 159 I had years ago. Now I can see the 12mm. That's an extension bar, and we can get into that. So the internet lied to me. I was told it was just 4 10mm bolts and 2 12mm bolts, but I've already done 4 10mm bolts, getting the 2 heat shields off. Or heat shield in the bracket, doubling my workload. This is actually a 13, not a 12 like the internet said. Now there is a large square gasket in here. Be really careful not to lose when this thing comes apart from the engine. Right, with that bolt undone, the pipe off the bottom has just dropped off. Last bolt is out and lost. Good. And away comes the EGR, complete with... Oh, I thought I had it, I lost it. Damn it. I dropped the gasket, I thought I had it in my hand. Okay, the magnetic pickup tool remains my absolute favourite tool in the world. And I was holding the wrong gasket. This is the one that goes on the bottom pipe, not the one against the back of the engine. Now that is, well, pretty heavily coked up. So I'm going to give this a really good clean up as best I can. You'll definitely want gloves for this, otherwise you'll look like you've been down a coal mine. Apparently Mr. Muscle is a good thing for cleaning these things out. Oh man, look at that. I say apparently, I know definitely it is, because I used it when I did the turbo on the Mark III Mondeo a little while ago. Bit of brake and clutch cleaner, never goes wrong. So I'm going to leave that soaking for a little while and then go and get a can of Mr. Muscle and give that a good old dousing inside there and try and get it as clean as possible. Right, let's see, oops, how much that's taken out of there. Oh, it's all evaporated. It looks cleaner, but let's give it a proper blast with a bit of Mr. Muscle. Wow, look at that foaming up. Let's get it into every orifice and let it do its thing, let it work its way out. Hopefully that'll be enough to really, really clean this out nicely. And while it does its thing, we've got a couple of minutes to put a new wheel nut in the back wheel, the one from the boot. That'll take 30 seconds, and we've got about an hour and a half while we try and sort out that light bulb. Well, I don't know how clear that is on the camera, but that is a lot nicer than it was before. It was just thick and black. I let this rinse out under the tap over and over again, and the amount of black, coaly, grim nastiness that was coming out was immense. Okay, so I've done it twice on here now, and it is a world better. You can actually see clean metal now in places, and the thread on the screw thing that runs through it actually looks quite clean as well for it at last. I'm going to give it a third blast just to get this all as clean as possible. Just give it a fighting chance of still working. Rinse it out one last time, and then hopefully that'll be enough to get the car running properly again. Oh, where's the wire gone? This isn't going to work without the plug plugged in. Right, we are done, I think. Let's fire it up and see if it smokes and if it revs. Okay, here goes. It's only revving to 3,000. It will not go past 3,000 RPM, I don't know why. Oh, that's smoking bad. This is now just at idle and it's just chuffing away. Could this just be it's burning off the Mr. Muscle for a minute? Let's let it run for a minute or two and hope. I might just nip down and get some V-power in it. So, my dad's big computer still can't see this car properly. However, I have just got a Carly, which I've plugged in down there, and it's currently reading it, and I'm about to hit clear codes. Oh, it's done it! Yes, it's done it! Fantastic! Engine light is out. Let's turn the engine on. Still out. Fabulous. That is what I wanted to see. That's perfect. So I'll give you a quick update on everything I've been doing the last few minutes. Everything's running apart from, of course, it's smoking too much and the engine light is on. At least it was until a second ago. So I figured it's 5-year-old diesel. It's going to be tired, isn't it? It's going to have moisture in it. It's gone off. It needs fresh fuel. So I nipped down, got half a tank of V-Power, which is the high performance cleaning additive stuff. I've saved several cars with V-Power petrol. I've never saved a diesel with V-Power before, but you know, first time for everything, and you know what, I think this was it. Because I drove it off the forecourt, found a quiet place, revved it and revved it and revved it, and all of a sudden it stopped limiting it to 3,000 and started creeping up and up and up, and suddenly it revs more freely, there's more power in it, and it looks like there's less smoke in it as well. Everything seems to be being fixed just by being used, and I think the more I drive it, the better it's going to get. And it's definitely not smoking as much now. I can sit here and I can rev it, and you won't see a big cloud of smoke, which is exactly what we want to be seeing for the MOT. So I think we're MOT retest ready, because that was the big sticking point. The light bulb and the wheel nut weren't really problems, but making sure it was running non-smokily and making sure that light went out, those were the sticking points, and they're no longer sticky. Hurrah! You know, I've never hooted this thing before. That's exciting. Right, let's get this up to the MOT retest, and fingers crossed they're all happy with it. Well, good news! We have got a pass on the 159. This thing is now road legal and ready to rock. Half a can of Mr. Muscle in the EGR, and then clearing the codes with the Carly, and a merciless Italian tune-up made a huge difference to the car. It will now rev beyond 3,000 RPM. However, it does seem to be intermittently kind of losing power, and it's definitely not got as much oomph as it should have. So next up for this car, obviously we've got the long-awaited and very overdue big clean. That'll be a video in itself, because that's going to be a full day of fun polishing this. I'm really looking forward to getting this car looking magnificent. Then we're going to find out why it isn't working properly still, because it's a 210 horsepower engine, but it feels more like about 60. It does not feel right at all. I would like to replace all the discs and pads all round, maybe get a remap, because honestly these 2.4s, they are so tunable. Mine was tuned to somewhere nearly 300 horsepower, which is a lot out of a five banger diesel. And then, separate to getting the car fixed, I want to go and take the old engine apart. I want to see if it was possible to actually get it apart, because we gave up on it because it just wasn't economically viable to keep on attempting to battle that engine. If I didn't mind damaging that engine, and now I don't, it's basically scrap metal, I'm going to see how hard it would be to literally hammer that engine apart, and I'll try and show you precisely why it won't work. And then of course I've got to get the air conditioning working, and maybe give the underside of the car a little bit more of a fettle and a tidy up. Basically, we've got the finishing touches to making this car absolutely beautiful. But all told, I am so happy. I mean, even though it's not running with as much power as it should do, intermittently you get bursts where it's all there. So I wonder if it's got like a leaking boost pipe or something. Right, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this epic adventure in this beautiful Giugiaro Alfa Romeo, the Alfa Spider, Anansi as we're now calling him. Right, thank you for watching, like and subscribe, and join me again next time. I say doing something completely different, it'll probably be a bit more on this car. Goodbye.